Okay, so yesterday in Chicago, unfortunately, FBG Duck got gunned down while shopping on the Gold Coast. I'm going to use this incident not to gossip about people killing each other in Chicago or anywhere else, but to delve into the nature of why are people on YouTube talking about people killing each other, and even bigger, why are people who kill each other and talk about killing each other allowed to sell their products by major corporations? In fact, the largest corporations in the world, Alphabet, which is Google and YouTube, Apple, etc. So FBG Duck was 26. He'd been shot a few times before. His most popular song, Slide, I think had 53 million views on YouTube. Probably got another quick million in the last day or two. And Slide, of course, is slang for ride and shoot somebody. And him and King Von had been going back and forth, threatening each other. I don't know what any of these guys do, nor do I want to. I'm not here to solve any crimes. And maybe some of them are smart and they just use the things that are going on around them, let people think it's them doing it, and use it to sell themselves as a product, aka like a killer. And if you're from a poor community that's labeled as a place that creates killers, I mean, maybe that's a smart thing to do temporarily, but of course, you're playing with fire. Now, DJ Academics is somebody that I guess sprung to another level of fame or importance with this thing called the War in Chirac, where he would talk about who killed who. He'd talk about them in disparaging terms, N-word, monkeys, blah, blah, blah. Mind you, he's talking about teenagers or young guys who are murder victims. So the first time I saw Academics, I instantly disliked him, and he deserves to be disliked. He's kind of a bad person. I'm far from the only person that doesn't like Academics. He's pretty much of a twerpy kind of guy, which is fine, but like, why you got to talk about people killing each other in such a disparaging, jokey way? It's not funny. And now there's this whole industry, especially in the Chicago stuff, and every guy that gets killed, someone puts up a scorecard. Oh, he had 8 bodies and he had 6 bodies. King Von. I didn't bother to watch any of these things, but there's various people that have made videos about how many people King Von has killed, and this one and that one. What? I mean, it's pretty bizarre. Now, King Von, I think him and Dirk are both out on bond for the robbery or shooting or something in Atlanta. You know, I don't know. King Von is supposed to be, I think, Jeff Fort's grandson. Jeff Fort, super interesting character who started Blackstone Rangers, later turned into Al Rookin, now known as the Black Pea Stone Nation. He's living in Florence, ADX. He had been on no human contact for a long time. I think about a year or so ago, him and Larry Hoover have been allowed a little bit of movement. I'm not sure. So whether King Von is or isn't a killer, it's highly inappropriate for people to treat people they think are murderers as baseball players and show, like, you know, their score line. How many people did they kill? It's totally dehumanizing. How can you have a Black Lives Matter movement while you got people making baseball cards about how many black people somebody killed? It's sick. I personally, a long time ago and every day now, have the opportunity to make a lot more money than I do by engaging and allowing people to engage in negativity that can lead to murder. And maybe because I come from a different personal life and environment than people like the rest of these guys, it's just not in me to do it. I have no interest in it. Just the other day, I put up an interview with somebody, and I never let, or try not to let, people mention anyone else by name who's alive. And they said something about somebody, and that person a friend of mine is their relative, I guess. So they hit me up. Oh, why'd he say this? Let us say it's untrue and this and that, which could start a whole thing because both of these guys are walking around. So I just turned the video off. I don't think that the guy that I interviewed is lying necessarily, but I'm not a police investigator. I don't want to investigate what happened 10 years ago in some case. I'm not known for letting people argue and beef with each other, and I'm not going to start now. I could easily let all kind of people threaten each other on my channel, and you would love it, and I would make more money, but I'm not doing it. Vlad called me the other day trying to get the phone number of Boone, the hitman from Detroit. I have multiple interviews on my channel. I have a lot of views. You're very interested in them. People are always asking, when are you going to interview Boone again? Well, while Vlad is free to call me, I mean, I tried to talk friendly to Vlad, make mild small talk. He just wanted to know, he didn't offer me any money. Oh, you know where he's at? Can you give me his number? And basically when I said no, I got off the phone. So I didn't like that. Vlad, you know, like I was his hoe and he was going to pimp me into getting Boone. But why does he want to, what was he talking to hitmen for? Who was he to interview a hitman? I interviewed him. Me and my friend drove the 8 minutes from my house to where Boone lived at and sat in his kitchen. There were 4 people in the room. Me, my friend from kindergarten, Boone and his sister. The only person in the room who was not convicted in a murder case is Boone's sister. So me and my friend interviewing Boone's a lot different than Vlad interviewing him, especially when he's 8 minutes from my house. If anybody gets to interview people like that, it's me. All these guns that they let people flash in music videos, I got something to say about that too. Every time I upload a video to YouTube, YouTube has a checklist that it asks the creators, me, you know, are these things in your video because they could result in the video not being monetized, advertisers not putting ads on. Now it's not YouTube's fault. I totally get that an advertiser wouldn't want, you know, their ad running on some violent thing, people using drugs, Holocaust denial, racist things, or even just things that engender intense political debate. Okay, but one of the things you're not supposed to put in so I make these documentaries about drug dealers, and you might want to show us B-roll, right? Somebody smoking crack. Obviously, it's not to promote smoking crack. Well, that's caused a lot of my stuff to get demonetized. Long documentaries that have been making me some nice money because I had B-roll of this and that. Obviously not glorifying drug use, they got demonetized. But when I upload a video and it asks all these problems, are you showing drug use? There's a big parentheses, except music videos. So if I show police officers holding guns, aimed, say I'm trying to make something about George Floyd, police brutality, etc. If I show pictures of police holding guns over black men, or over anybody, whatever, demonetization. But all those music videos, all those kids holding up guns, like Duck and blah blah, all them other guys, those are monetized or potentially can be. You can't show someone doing drugs in a documentary about a drug dealer, but you can actually do drugs as long as it's in a music video. So you can smoke weed and pop pills in a music video and it's okay. Juice WRLD, I'm in my white Benz drinking codeine with my white friends and my black Benz doing cocaine with my black friends, which is not even music. I don't know what to even call that other than a cry for help. That's okay. But I can't make a documentary about the U.S. government's role in the global drug trade. That gets demonetized. As far as the guns in the videos, I got my start in video stuff way back in like 05, 06. I was doing all the music video. Well, there was Darren Brown, Al Nuke, a very couple people doing music videos in Detroit. I did the most by far because I did them. They weren't all cheap, but they were cheap-ish, and I was able to pump them out. So I'm the most, I kind of like Well, I'm one of the inventors of like the hood rap video. I made 100 of them. I got 2 full DVDs of them from like 08, 07, 09. All the whole style that everyone tries to make a video look like, oh, we're on the block and we're at our spot and it's, this is how it really looks. Well, I was doing those and it wasn't a style. It was people I knew, hey, pull up at the spot, and the videos got made and flashed the street sign that they're at so everyone knows what hood they're in, blah, blah, blah. I don't have to say I made that up totally, because obviously music videos long predate me, but I came around right at the time when you first could get a video camera for $1,500 that looked okay, and I was making a bunch of videos. Way more than anybody else, and they almost all had that style. I didn't bother with trying to copy Hype Williams, because that's not what we were making. We were making, videos on the block with guys on the block doing what they do, and it was real. And I remember I had kind of slowed down on the videos. I was starting with the documentaries, and a young guy who I had known since he was about 7. He was at that time about 18. He wanted to make a music video. So I go over on his block, and I was just doing it because I knew him, since he was a kid, free, of course. And I go over there, and it was on the street, Woodingham and Puritan. Puritan, Livernois area is a place I've done a lot of music videos for a lot of guys over there. Got friends over there from elementary school days, because I went to school around there. When I was between 18 and 20, my best friend, who was the older cousin of that kid, he lived on that block right behind Murdoch's funeral home. I got taken to jail from Murdoch's funeral home for gun crime somewhere else that I did a year in jail for. So I'm on that block, and that's right when I knew things were going to take a turn for the worse, because some of the young guys on the block, mind you, 16, they come outside like, oh, Al Prophet's here. Do you want us to go get the AKs and come out and stand in the video? Now, mind you, this is like 06. It's a long time ago, or maybe 07. This is before everyone was guns in the video. And I thought, whoa. I said, no, don't get any guns. I'm not telling any teenagers to bring a gun into any video. And I could just tell from the energy, because I hadn't really been shooting videos for a year or so, like, oh, things had kind of changed. It was like, it was going to become too real, I guess. And I could have participated in the popularization and made it happen quicker of guns and music videos, but I didn't. Cost me some money, but nobody can say I did that, because I didn't, and I could have. These people are all weird and predatory. And if you want to boycott somebody about something, boycott all of them and just watch Al Prophet. Because I put hard work into it. I don't just gossip and run my mouth and try to start beefs and let other people threaten each other and send themselves to prison. So if you guys continue to support the predators and the weirdos, and half of them, I think, are trying to work off some police case, so they're trying to engender conflict, that's on you. So choose who you get your information from wisely. Just like you want to turn off Fox News, turn off the clowns on YouTube. Al Prophet, American Dope.